What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. As we know, the first couple games of the play-in tournament went down in last night, and how much fun was it watching those games, I will tell you. But today we probably have our most challenging offseason rebuild yet, that being the Golden State Warriors, who of course were unfortunately eliminated last night at the hands of the Sacramento Kings. My allergies are completely gone at the moment, so I'm feeling good today finally, so I feel like I'll be able to get through a video without dying. So the vibes are great. Let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. Like I said, this offseason is probably going to be my most challenging offseason to do realistically, because to be honest with you, I have no clue what the Warriors are about to do. But let's just go ahead, get into this rebuild and talk about some things. Before we get into this video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. As we know, the Los Angeles Lakers beat the Pelicans last night. It felt like the Lakers were going to win that game, and the Pelicans made it very close, and Zion leaves the game, and the Lakers took it from there. And then the Kings had the perfect game plan against the Golden State Warriors, and it never really was close, to be honest with you. The Warriors did cut it to like 4 at half, but after that, the Kings just ran away with it again. The game never really felt that close. Mike Brown had the perfect game plan, and the team executed it. Keon Ellis, what a beautiful guy he has been for the Sacramento Kings. But that's beside the point. Today, we're talking about the Golden State Warriors, man. And I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said, this one is going to be very, very challenging. I have no clue what the Warriors plan on doing this offseason. One thing that I feel like is something that's going to happen for sure is I feel like Clay might have played his last game as a Warrior potentially. I don't know, man. He shot 0 for 10 in a elimination game. The money, he didn't accept the contract that he was offered, once upon a time. I don't know what the money was when it was offered to him, but it just feels like Clay is not going to be back with the Warriors, but that obviously could change. Do they explore trading Draymond? Do they explore trading Kuminga and other young players for more veteran pieces? Like, there's so many different paths the Warriors could take this offseason, but let's just go ahead and do our very best on predicting what they will do. And yeah, this is going to be a tough one, like I said. And of course, our pick is going to the Blazers, so we don't even have our first round pick. There's just so many issues to deal with here, as we have the Celtics and the Lakers in the finals. And the Lakers going to win the championship. So they go from the play-in all the way to win a championship, as Celtics lose it in 7 games. LeBron James, retire a champion. I messed with it a little bit, but I still feel like the goal is to go play with his son or share the same court with his son. So I will allow him to play another year. All right, so let's get straight to the lottery. So this isn't going to matter for us because, like I said, our pick is going to the Blazers. So from the Damian Lillard trade, that pick is, belongs to the Portland Trail Blazers, unfortunately. But how do the Mavericks have pick number 2? I don't think that's supposed to be true, to be honest with you. I don't think that's correct, but I guess I could, in theory, be wrong. But let's go straight to draft night. And man, we got to really, really think about what we're about to do with this roster because, again, I have no clue. We have Stephen Curry under contract for 2 more years. Draymond Green under contract for 3 more years if he accepts a player option. Chris Paul is a non-guaranteed contract, but I guess 2K already has him accepting it. I feel like there's a good chance the Warriors decline that, but maybe, I guess in this scenario, we're forced to accept it. So I think the first step would be trade Chris Paul for some pieces, get something back in return for Chris Paul, what we can get. I don't know what we're going to explore getting for, obviously. Kuminga, as much as we could move him in a trade, I do think he, could give him a bigger role next year, so maybe we keep him around. We're not re-signing Klay Thompson today. This will be the first time in a while in a Warriors rebuild I have not re-signed Klay. I'm actually going to go ahead and let him go. I just think based off last night's performance and just kind of the vibe and the energy that's kind of around this team right now, I don't feel like he'll be back, but again, I could be wrong. But I think I'm going to go fix that Mavericks pick really quickly, and then we're going to explore a Chris Paul trade to start out this video, because I'm pretty sure the Mavericks are not supposed to have pick number 2. That doesn't make any sense to me. But let's go ahead and explore a trade with Chris Paul, see if anything pops up. And we got to build a roster around Stephen Curry, man. This team has kind of stayed complacent with that. I know they try to get LeBron at the deadline and stuff like that, but yeah, we got to find a way to give Stephen Curry one more last final chance at a championship, because he's still very good, obviously. Today's video is brought to you by DGF's Optimizer. If you're playing on apps such as PrizePicks, Underdog, or any other DFS app, having this tool is so clutch to finding good plays right in front of you without having to do any research whatsoever. I absolutely swear by it. Ever since I was approached about this tool and I started using it consistently, it has changed my sports betting career like an insane amount. And I'll show you just a second on screen. If I actually remember to put it on this time, as you can see, I'm up $1,100 in profit since using this app, which is actually crazy. But as you can see, there is 3 good plays I'm looking at right in front of my face, and I didn't even have to go search up a bunch of websites to go see the last 10 game logs or anything like that. What this tool does, it compares multiple discrepancies across multiple sports books. It even shows you the juice on sports books as well. So every single book is heavily favoring the under on Caleb Martin's assist. or a lot of the books that are on the board right now are favoring Nikola Jokic's block, 1/2 a block. And same thing with Haywood Highsmith. Found 3 good plays right in front of me. Didn't have to do any research whatsoever on it. If you want to check out this tool, link is down in the description below. Use code Crushables, 25% off your first month. And of course, I use that on apps such as Prize Picks. Also, another app I'm partnered with. You choose between 2 to 6 players, 2 players being 3 times their entry, all the way up to 6 players being 25 times their entry. So you can go from Trae Young, and you could go all the way to darts if you really wanted to, and pair him. The possibilities are endless. There's so many sports, so many options to choose from over on Prize Picks. We actually got ourselves a little bit of a sweat tonight. I will actually show you some of my open entries. If you look at this one tonight, if I would assume it hits over 1.5 threes, your boy made $100. And you know where I got this slip? Directly from DGF's Optimizer. So make sure to check it out. Like I said, link is down in the description below. Both of these. Use code Crushables on Prize Picks. They match first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. And then on DGF's Optimizer, make sure you use code Crushables, 25% off your first month. Other than that, let's get back to the rebuild. So I have not found anything for Chris Paul as of yet, but I'm going to try here again after the draft. So we got Iguodala in the second round. We had a very late second round pick. But we're throwing Chris Paul and Moses Moody in the trade finder right now to see what the options are. Again, I'm trying to be as realistic as I possibly can be here as well. This first trade, you know, Drew Holiday, Peyton Pritchard. I don't see the Celtics moving on from Drew Holiday. They literally just extended him. Zubac, Terrence Mann. I can see the Clippers maybe wanting Chris Paul, but that doesn't really do it for me. I don't really like this trade that much. Rozier, Dr. Robinson, Mark Williams, Cody Martin. Marketing is cool, but I don't think the Jazz are moving him. They just had a quote from Danny Ainge yesterday saying they're going to be aggressive and you know, stuff like that. So Gafford and Washington, those are cool, really good role players that have been working for the Mavericks. I don't see them moving him, especially for Chris Paul when they have Kyrie and Luka. RJ Barrett, same thing. Why would the Raptors want Chris Paul? So far, none of these trades to me make a bunch of sense. So I did brainstorm another idea that I had in my head. It's about one of those teams that lost yesterday. And it does feel like a marriage is coming to an end between Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. I do believe that that is coming to an end. If we're going to try to surround Stephen Curry with a star, I think Brandon Ingram at the top of my head, as of right now, of course, before all the playoffs are said and done, Ingram is someone who I do believe might become available. Zion showcased what he can be yesterday. He's got 4 years left in his deal. I think if the Pelicans had to choose between Zion and Ingram, maybe they decide to keep both. Don't get me wrong. But if they are going to have these two come to a divorce, I do believe Ingram would be the guy that is moved. So instead of trying to trade Chris Paul for some role players, what if we try to send him over to the Pelicans for Brandon Ingram? That is what we're going to try to do here to accomplish that, to get Stephen Curry another player to help him out, to make one last final run here. So I am going to include Chris Paul's salary, of course, in this trade. His trade value is non-existent, so we're going to have to do a little bit better. So I'm going to send Moses Moody in this trade as well. I'm going to send Iguodala in this trade we just got in the draft, and then my 2025 first-round pick. I don't know if that's going to do it for them, but that is an expiring Brandon Ingram. What do you say to that offer? They say no so far. I will give you Mr. I don't know if Mr. Quiones would change that. I don't know if I say his name, and boom, they did it. So just like that, we have Brandon Ingram. So Brandon Ingram immediately joins this team, and that makes things very interesting. I think I'm going to play him at the 2 as of right now. Kuminga is going to be a big guy that steps up for us next year as well. So if you look at this rotation at this very moment, it's Stephen Curry, Brandon Ingram, Podziemski, Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton, Jonathan Kuminga, and then you have Draymond Green and Trace Jackson Davis. I do believe I want to slide Draymond Green back to the 4, though, so I'm going to move him back to power forward, so I'm going to do that, and then let's get a free agency. So we do need a backup point guard, a backup. I mean, we could technically use a better starting small forward as well, but I do love the addition of Brandon Ingram here. If we play him at the 3, we could do that as well. Where, like I said, I could have resigned Klay Thompson, but it just feels like the end is here for Klay coming back to the Warriors. So again, I could be wrong, but I am not going to re-sign him today. Instead, though, I am going to go ahead and sign Monte Morris to a deal to bring him in. So we're going to bring in Monte Morris. Klay, thank you for your services, but you are gone, my friend. I'm sorry. So Monte Morris, we'll sign him. Let me know, Warriors fans, how you're feeling. Do you think Klay will be back, or do you have hope that Klay will be back, or do you still think, do you think he's gone? So right now, we could just run this as a rotation, but I do feel like another trade could be necessary if we decided to do it. It would be with like Wiggins' contract if we decided to make another trade here. But let's say we tried. I don't know what the options would be, but let's say we threw Wiggins and Gary Payton in a trade together. What does that, come to? Paul Reed, straight up, no thanks. Hunter and Capella. I kind of like it. Not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I do kind of like this trade a lot. Somehow I always end up with Capella and Warriors rebuilds. I don't know how. But man, he would be he would be it. He would be the guy, I think, to go get, or I think that'd be the trade right now, but we'll keep looking just in case. Nick Richards, Cody Martin, Barnes, Herter, Robinson, Bojan, Jet Howard, Jonathan Isaac, Ben Simmons, Chris Paul, Isaiah Stewart, Lou Dort, and Rudy Gobert. We could get Rudy Gobert as well. That's interesting. Although Minnesota bringing back Wiggins sounds kind of weird. Do we just keep Wiggins, or do we... honestly, if we're going to go all in for Stephen Curry, this feels like a trade that makes sense. I'm going to do this trade. I assume Atlanta's going to keep one of DeJounte or Trae Young. Maybe they decide to trade both, but if they did decide to keep one of them, Wiggins would be the perfect 3-and-D wing to bring next to one of them if Wiggins can unlock what he used to be in any way possible. But I am going to go ahead and do this trade. We get Hunter and Capella. That immediately gives us a really good core in my mind. So we're going to move DeAndre Hunter to the 3. And also the Warriors get off DeAndre Hunter's contract, but they do get, obviously, Wiggins' contract. So I don't know if that really solves much. But, yeah, I love it. I love it. And then Trace Jackson Davis stays here. Kevon Looney is our other backup big if we need him. And then we could bring in a small forward like David Bertans or something. So sign like Bertans to be a shooter if we need him at times. But, yeah, I like that offseason. We bring in Ingram. We could also still resign Clay, but, again, I'm not going to. So we bring in Ingram, Hunter, Capella in the same offseason. To me, that's beautiful. If we're going to give Stephen Curry one last chance to try to go win a championship, I think this is the way to do it. Podziemski is up. Trace Jackson Davis didn't move, which kind of sucks. Draymond is down 1 overall, not surprising there, and Ingram is down as well. But I like it. I think if there's any star that could be available right now to bring next to Stephen Curry, it could be Brandon Ingram. Also, Ingram is young enough to when Stephen Curry retires, you can start, questioning yourself, is Ingram the guy you build around going forward now, or do you move on to the next thing? A lot of different questions you could ask that, but that's in the future. So let's get straight into this first season with Steph, as one last final run, hopefully. So do we have a 4-star proficiency? We do. We are going to move this to a balanced system. And we're going to see if this year can result in a championship, or at least a playoff berth. We were just in the plan eliminated. So let's try to avoid the plan at all costs here. So rotation is Steph, Brandon Ingram, DeAndre Hunter, Draymond Green, Capella, Kuminga as a 6-man for at least right now, Podziemski, Trace Jackson Davis, and Monte Morris. That looks good to me. And then let's look at shot tendency. So Ingram shot tendency is high enough. I'm going to move Kuminga's up just a little bit. Other than that, I'm ready to simulate this season and see how this goes. Hopefully this team ends up being pretty damn good. Let's see how it goes in the simulation. We're trying to get Stephen Curry back in the playoffs to give him another chance of winning a championship. We'll see how this first season goes with what we just did in the offseason. So at the end of year number 1, Jokic wins MVP, Alex Sarr Rookie of the Year on the Wizards, Amin Thompson 6-man Wembanyama Offensive Player, Zion Most Improved, and Donovan Mitchell Clutch Player, and Marcus your Coach of the Year, and John Murphy is your executive. So here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second team. Does Stephen Curry not make an All-NBA team? He did not make an All-NBA team. Wow, that's kind of surprising. But all offensive first team and all defensive second team. So we do end up as the 4th seed in the Western Conference. We draw the Dallas Mavericks in round 1. So here's how your player stats went. You had 26 from Steph, 23 from Brandon Ingram, 19 from Jonathan Kuminga, 12 from Hunter, 9 and 12 from Capella, 8 from Podziemski, and 8 from Trace Jackson Davis. So if nothing else, we accomplished missing the play-in. We actually just made the playoffs. We avoid the play-in. We just make the playoffs straight up, which is great. So let's go ahead and see if we can somehow beat the Dallas Mavericks. We have Luka Doncic, Kyrie, Montes Bazelis, Washington Gafford, Lively, Dante Exum, Jaden Hardy, and Josh Green. So let's go ahead, simulate current round against the Dallas Mavericks. Let's see if we can beat them and get out of round 1. So far, we have ourselves an even series. Obviously, I'm trying to get Stephen Curry into a conference finals again. So, not even just a conference finals. I'm trying to get him a damn championship. So if we lose in round 1, after doing all that we just did, it would not feel very good. So far, we have the lead right here, and we are going to win a pivotal Game 5. Now, if we could beat the Mavericks to win Game 6 and go on to the second round already, would be amazing. Now, they come off with a good lead here. Can we get back in the game? It looks like we've gotten close a couple times. We're down 3 in the 4th quarter. To slow this down, we take the lead. Now, can we run away with it is the question. All right, if we can win this one, we're moving on to round 2, and that's all I'm asking for here. Let's see if we can get it done. Got ourselves a very close game. I mean, I think we were able to do it as long as we don't blow a lead, and we do move on to round 2. 45 from Stephen Curry, another vintage playoff series from Steph, which you love to see. We get Memphis and Phoenix, or we get one of the two, and we get the 8th-seeded Phoenix Suns, who have Devin Booker, Beal, Grayson Allen, who they just extended, Durant, Nurkic, Patrick Williams, Achua, David Roddy. So, hopefully, we can get out of round 2 and get to the conference finals. Someone in current round against the Suns, and we sweep them. We are in the conference finals. Now, can we beat the Thunder is the question. That will be a tough one, as always. So we got Shea, Giddey, Lou Dort, J-Dub, Chet. They got OG Anunoby in the offseason, Isaiah Hardenstein, Casey Wallace, and Isaiah Joe. So yeah, the Thunder always cook in the offseason, as we know. So here we go. We're gonna have to pull out all the stops here. Game 1 against the Warrior or Thunder, I should say. We drop it. They beat us by 16. Game 2, they even it up. I'm assuming they're about to sweep us. We do win game 3. Now, can we win game 4 at home as well to even this series? That would be amazing. And then we get a huge game 5. But right now, it looks like they're going to take care of game 4. So yeah, that's not looking good for us. We are going to lose. Of course, is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Am I too surprised by the results so far? No, not at all. So let's see if we can win game 5, despite obviously dropping game 4. If we can win game 5, you never know what can happen, but right now it's looking like they're going to win game 5. We're down, yeah. So we've lost game 5. So we got Stephen Curry back to the conference finals, but running into the Thunder, you all know how that goes. It just never really works in your favor. So 125 to 146. Unfortunately, we do drop to the Oklahoma City Thunder, but you know, it feels good to have gotten Steph back to the conference finals, but Cavaliers go on to win the championship. They beat the Warriors, or the Thunder, I should say. Sorry. I'm the Warriors today, and we got eliminated. So LeBron James is going to retire a Laker. Let's go straight to the lottery again. So into the draft lottery we go. At least we didn't give the Pelicans a good pick in that Brandon Ingram trade. It does end up being a very late pick, so the trade I felt was worth it. But staff signing, Steve Kerr did get us back to the conference finals, so I'm going to keep him around. Let's see if I can get like the best money. You know, let's get the best assistant head coach possible in Michael Stauffer. Let's sign a permanent defensive coach, and then we'll have a good coaching staff again next year. So our coaches have a bunch of badges. I don't really know if we're going to be able to do much as far as like adding another player to this core, but we have a lot of re-signings to do. I know that. Paul Jimsky, of course, will accept qualifying offers. Jonathan Kuminga, big free agent. Other than that, we have Ingram, we have Kuminga, and we have Capella. So let's go ahead and start out by giving Ingram a 5-year deal. No brainer there. And then Capella, if we can give you like 17.5 over 2 years, I think that'd be beautiful. So we can get Ingram and Capella locked up. Great. That's a good start to this offseason. So we're going to run it back with this core because it did get us to the conference finals at the very least. But if we can add another player here, that'd be awesome. I'm just not really sure how we do it. Maybe we have to do it through another trade. Draymond Green, of course, is going to regress more than likely, but Kuminga will be back. So we're going to wait till, I think, day 12 to sign Kuminga to get him for as cheap as possible, unless if he gets an offer sheet, of course. But so far, he has not, which I'm quite surprised by because I think Kuminga is a player that a lot of young teams would be very interested in. But if I can get him for 4 years, $80 million, that'd be fantastic. So let's see if he signs that. He does. That's a fantastic contract here for the Warriors. We can sign Alvarado, which I think I'll do. I'm going to bring Alvarado in to be our backup point guard on the last day of free agency. And that would make Monty Morris' salary a little bit more expendable. So I am going to try to make another trade here. So we got Monty Morris, Stephen Curry, but we're about to move Monty Morris, I think. Podziemski, Ingram looks good to me. Matt Ryan, DeAndre Hunter, Kuminga, Draymond. We're at play progression. Draymond went down to a 79. Okay. I'm going to see if I can cook up another trade here to add more depth to this team. If not, then we might just run it back with what we got. So what I'm looking to do here is trying to get 2 forwards in the same trade. So obviously, I have to look at teams that have 2 forwards that are good. So like Jalen Johnson and Andrew Wiggins, for example. I don't want Wiggins back, though. That's a bad example. I guess that wasn't a good example. But I did look at the 76ers. They have Mr. Sadiq Bey and Naz Reid. I want to see if I can make this happen somehow. Can I get both Sadiq Bey and Naz Reid in the same trade? That would be beautiful. So let's see if we can try this. So I'm going to offer Draymond Green's salary. Now, this is going to be really hard to pull off, I think, but we're going to try it anyway. So Draymond Green, and then I'll throw you Trace Jackson Davis in this trade as well, and Monte Morris. No, Alvarado could be in this trade, but I'm going to throw Monte Morris in here instead. So Draymond Green, Trace Jackson Davis, Monte Morris for Bey and Naz Reid. What do you say? They say no. They think they're a contender. I'm cool with throwing another first-round pick out the window. They say no. So we're not going to be able to do that trade, but this is the kind of trade I'm looking to build here. So I also found the Wizards who have both Isaac and also like Denny Avdia, for example. If I could get both of them, that'd be beautiful. So let's see if we can try this instead. This would give us a really good foundation here. Where did Isaac go? There he went. So they cannot accept this. I'm going to have to remove Monte Morris. So Draymond Green, Trace Jackson Davis, and a first-round pick for Avdia and Jonathan Isaac. What do you say? Do the Wizards really want to move Avdia, though, is the question. Like, Isaac, I could see being expendable for them. But I'm going to offer anyway. They say no. They want DeAndre Hunter. Look at me, Jordan Poole. Oh, God. I'm not doing that. I want to move DeAndre Hunter. We'll see. We'll come back to that maybe because they almost considered it. Let's see what else we got. Jeremy Grant and Cody Williams, a little bit too young of a player. We got Jaden McDaniels. What else? We got OG and Anunoby. Still from the Thunder, maybe. They got Asa, J-Dub. They're not going to move those guys. Grayson Allen, Nasir Little. We got Keldon Johnson. Okay, Keldon kind of stands out to me. And maybe Zach Collins. We can move him to the power forward if we wanted to. So Keldon kind of stands out to me a little bit. Tari Eason, Grady Dick. What else? So I'm going to try that with the Spurs. So let's see if we could convince the Spurs to maybe get us Keldon Johnson and Zach Collins. So we're gonna do this trade. They can't do it. They need the Warriors would require. We need to require or put more money in this trade. All right, some more. So Keldon Johnson, Zach Collins, that would give us 2 really good forward options. It does suck to trade Trace Jackson Davis, but getting Keldon Johnson I think is pretty solid off the bench. They agree, so we get Keldon Johnson. So Keldon Johnson, someone I don't really trade for all that often. We move Zach Collins to the 4 now, and that looks good to me. So that is our rotation now. We'll see if that pays off. Keldon Johnson is a massive upgrade at our backup 3 spot, so I'll absolutely take it. It does suck to move Trace Jackson Davis, but if we're, like I said, if we're trying to go all in on getting Steph a championship, hopefully it pays off. Getting Keldon and Zach Collins, hopefully that pays off. That gives us some really good forwards off the bench for us. So let's load the 2026 draft class. We will run it back once again, this time with Keldon and Zach. Let's look at this rotation all together, and let's see if it ends up, paying off. Trading Draymond does suck. I wanted to keep him around, but he is regressing. So here's rotation. And Kuminga is the no doubt starter as well. So Steph, Ingram, Hunter, Kuminga, Capella, Podziemski, Keldon, Zach Collins, and Kevon Looney. We'll see how this rotation does. 4-star balance. We'll run it again, and hopefully this team ends up being really good in the West again. Luka Doncic wins MVP. Visic is your Rookie of the Year. Daron Sharp is your 6th-man Wemby Defensive Player. Montez Bazelos Most Improved. And Anthony Edwards Clutch Player of the Year. And Mark is your Coach of the Year. Here's your NBA first team. Luka Doncic, Shea, Wemby, Jokic, Halliburton. No Stephen Curry once again. Oh, he does make it this time. So Stephen Curry, All-NBA 3rd team, 28 points per game. Love to see that here towards the end. And we are the 2nd seed in the West. So, of course, the Thunder are probably going to be our biggest tasks, our biggest, toughest challenge, of course, throughout this video. We had 15 for Keldon Johnson, 16 for Kuminga, and 21 from Ingram. So I think getting 15 out of Keldon Johnson is really, really solid. So love that for us. 8 and 11 from Capella, and then 3 and 5 from Kevon Looney. But obviously, none of this matters, man. We are trying to get Steph one last championship. The Grizzlies somehow ended up with Jalen Duren, which is really, really solid. Jaren Jackson, Jalen Duren front court would be scary. They also have Fred VanVleet and Marcus Smart still. So somebody come around against the Grizzlies, and we are going to go down 3-1 to them. That does not feel great. Let's see if we can come back from 3-1. So we've gotten this far. Obviously not looking to lose this quickly here, but it looks like that may end up happening. I have a feeling last year was our best chance because of how, young Steph's only getting older, and, the Thunder just had to be on our way, unfortunately. But maybe we win this one, and it's all good. We are going to win this one. So we got to win 2 more in a row. It's possible. The Warriors come back from 3-1 before on the Thunder years ago. And of course, the Warriors have also experienced what that feels like in the finals. But see if we can come back here and win this one. So we do deal this one away. After it didn't look like we were going to win this game, we do win it. So now we go back to a game 7 in San Francisco. Did we come this far just to lose? Did we come back from 3-1 just to lose in game 7? Let's see. So we do have the lead right now. They take it back. We take it back. Can we keep it is the question. And it's looking like we are going to go to the 2nd round. So that did not look good, but we come back from 3-1, and we're in the 2nd round, and now we get to play the Pelicans. So New Orleans has Cade Cunningham and Zion. Damn. That's intimidating. They have Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Visic, Dyson Daniels, CJ McCollum, Jordan Hawkins. That's a damn good team. We definitely have our work cut out for us here. Somebody come around against New Orleans. We're down 3-0. So yeah, I just think the younger rosters at this point probably have surpassed us. Cade and Zion is crazy. So the Pistons not only lost Jalen Duren, they somehow lost Cade as well. Don't know how they managed to pull that off, but we are going to lose in round 2. So that's unfortunate. I think we get one last final chance at this, which sucks because I want to keep going as much as possible. Steph is really old. I mean, he's getting old. So Thunder Pacers, Thunder going to win another championship. All right. Steph does not decide to retire just yet. He is a free agent, though, so we're going to have to extend him. I do believe, again, like a 1-year extension. That makes sense. Celtics get 1. But let's get to work. So staff signing. Steve Kerr will keep around, and Michael Soffer will keep around. So even having the best coaching staff possible, it didn't work out. But draft night, assuming we have a draft pick here, we have a 2nd-round pick from the Hawks. I'm not even going to worry about it. So player options, Podziemski will accept. Qualifying offers, Matt Ryan, not really obviously concerned about him too much. And then Stephen Curry, the big free agent, of course. Zach Collins also, which I will resign. But yeah, Stephen Curry, we're going to resign him. I'm going to give him a 1-year extension. We're going to give this one last final chance. So Zach Collins will bring back. So that is looking good there. So we resign those guys. And then free agency, do we have like an MLE to use? We do have a little bit of money to use, so we can do something. But Alvarado, Podziemski, Hunter, Keldon Johnson, Zach Collins, and Kevon Looney. So we could run it back with the same rotation, or I could try to do something different. So I can move Zach Collins to center also if we wanted to. We probably will look to sign a free agent. Kevon Looney is not making a bunch of money, so there's not much we can do with him. But I am going to probably sign Monty Morris or something again. Like, just because, why not? Or we can sign Caleb Martin. I'll give Caleb Martin a minimum contract. We actually could probably get both those guys. So I'm going to sign Monty Morris as well and Caleb Martin in free agency. Monty Morris goes to the Pacers. Just kidding. Alvarado, I guess I'll bring back for another, couple of years or whatever. So Alvarado, bring him in. And then we are going to... I mean, is there any last final hoorah we could do? I don't know. If I threw like Collins and Looney together, I doubt anything is going to, come about here. We can get Ayo Dosunmu. But that gives us all of our, gets rid of all of our big man depth. So I don't know if that makes a ton of sense to do. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be a lot of options on the table. So I guess we just have to kind of pray that it works out. So let's go straight to player progression. Hopefully Kamenga and Podziemski and everyone else is developing really nicely. So Podziemski's up to an 84. Hopefully that helps out. Kamenga's up to an 84. Looney is down. Not surprising there. Probably the deadline will stop to make one last final move if possible. See if there's someone that's really cheap we could get that would, make an immediate impact to our core. But yeah, this will probably be the last season right here. So we're going to try to go one last hoorah here with Stephen Curry. Proficiency is still a 4-star balance, but going to run it back again. Let's see if this ends up resulting in a championship this year. Like I said, there is a chance I do stop at the deadline to try to cook up another addition to this Warriors team. All right, so I am stopping at the deadline as I'm looking and trying to make one last final move here. We're literally 500 on the dot. We're 25 and 25. I'm offering Collins and Kevon Looney for Gafford. Let's see what they say. They say no. I'm going to try to do this without a first-round pick, but honestly, I'm at the point where I would be fine with trading a first-round pick. Once again, we could just kind of sell on this draft pick. So I'm going to try to get Gafford here, and that is my way of going for it. One last final hurrah. That is a risk because obviously our draft pick right now could be in the lottery as we're only 25 and 25, but I'm going to bank on getting Gafford here, getting Stephen Curry one last final chance here. This is the last chance we have to go win a championship, so I do believe he was owed that. So Gafford hopefully will help out a ton. 25 and 25 on the dot. Hopefully we can finish over 500, get into the actual playoff seeding bracket, not in the play-in. We've won 3 games so far after the deadline. So let's continue that and hopefully be an actual playoff team. So this final season, if nothing else, we didn't get an actual playoff seed. We ended up getting the 7th seed. So we get home court. We get 2 chances to win to get in. Hopefully we can go play the Dallas Mavericks instead of the Thunder in round 1. Obviously, I don't really want to play Oklahoma City in round 1. But here it is, 28, 22, 18, 13, 12, 11, 9. So, and 9 and 7 from Gafford. So we're going to pull all the stops here. Going to go to an 8-man rotation in these playoffs. Let's see if we can come out here and beat the Nuggets to win. And we are in. So we're in the playoffs. Now we get to play the Dallas Mavericks. We get, Luka Doncic, Cameron Thomas, Buzelis, Derek Lively, Jamal Murray. I don't think it's impossible for us to upset the Mavericks, to be completely honest with you. I definitely think it's on the table. So somebody current round against the Mavericks. We are going to win game 1. And we are going to beat them in 7. Damn, that was close. But we do beat them in 7. And now we get to play the Memphis Grizzlies, who ended up beating the Pelicans. So the Grizzlies, they have Kevin McCullough, Gigi Jackson, Jaren Jackson. We beat this team, I believe. So hopefully we can redo that again. Somebody current round. We're down 3-1, though. Wait, this is a team that came back from 3-1 on, right? Like, we're going to have to do that again if we want any chance here. And I don't know if we can do that twice in a row. But you never know. So let's see what happens. So we are going to be in a competitive game here. We had a really good lead for a second. They take it back. And it looks like they have sealed our fate. So we lose by 5. And that is ultimately how this video will end. So we get to the conference finals one time. Get stunned by the Thunder, unfortunately. And the Grizzlies go on to win the championship. Realistically speaking, being completely honest anyway, I don't know if the Warriors will ever make it back to the finals with Stephen Curry anyway. They had a great run. It's going to be really hard to put something together as special as they did anyway. I did my very best, as realistic as I possibly could. I hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. Unfortunately, it did not result in a championship, but still a fun video nonetheless. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see y'all in the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.